want to take a moment to give another topic on my 2 cents. This one is about heroes. Um, we all need heroes, and the reason I'm bringing this topic up is because there's been a lot of talk about recently, the death of Kobe Bryant and how people are so affected when they didn't even know him personally. Um, I believe whether the hero is a real person or a fictional character from a cartoon or video game, we all are entitled to and arguably should have a hero. Uh, Fortunately, coming up as a kid, I had a very active couple parents and present father and mother in my life. Um, so obviously, those were heroes of mine, but I was also a 6 year old growing up in the 80s, so I was also a huge fan of Optimus Prime and the Transformers, among others. He wasn't my favorite Transformer, but he was the authority figure that I would think about if I was playing the games with Transformers, or what would Optimus do, basically. My favorites were Hot Rod, Sunstreaker, Soundwave, just to name a few. Um, but when Optimus Prime died in 1986 in Transformers the movie, I remember um, I was watching the movie in the theater with my dad. When he died, this little girl actually screamed in the theater like a shriek like I hadn't heard at the time. And I remember a reading a letter that a mother wrote to Hasbro about the death of Optimus Prime for her young son, how he was impacted. He locked himself into a room for 12 days. Um, you see, children and adults, they find heroes and people to look up to almost anywhere. Parents obviously are candidates for this, but cartoons, video games, um, sports, any aspect of life you can think of, they're going to find someone that they idolize and look up to, whether or not that person is real or they know them, because that entity has characteristics that young child or adult or person wants to bring out of themselves in some fashion. And um, in that regard, it gives a goal to be reached having that hero, because we aspire to be like that person. And I would encourage all of you to keep in mind, if you're going through something, and you recently lost a hero with like Kobe, that it's okay to mourn that, because you're grieving for something bigger than just the person you don't know. Okay. Also, coming up in the 80s, I've been playing video games, as many as you of you know, for as long. Recently, I watched a video for a cinematic for a character named Cade Six, which is a leader of a faction in a video game called Destiny and Destiny 2. And in this game, in Destiny 2, in this particular cinematic, he gets killed. And the way he gets killed actually really struck me. Uh, he is not the leader of the faction that I'm a part of necessarily. He's not my favorite character either, but he's a present um, character in the game. And when he dies, there is a noticeable void. And when I read the comments below this video, I realized people lost their Optimus Prime, and many of them did. And I felt that, because I remember how I felt when Prime died. I know it was just a cartoon, and I know this is just a game, but grieving can be real. Not everyone has a father or mother to look up to, or a uncle, or someone to make them feel whole. Sometimes we find heroes in the most obscure places, and it would behoove you to keep in mind this notion. And it is okay to have a hero that you may not know, like Kobe Bryant recently, rest his soul, um, or a video game character or a cartoon. These impressionable years of the 80s for me were very significant. I never lost to Kobe, but I lost to Prime. And I see people who lost Kate Sixer. They're really messed up in some ways. Um, sure, when you switch off the game, life goes on, but um, it's okay to have a hero, and it's okay to mourn when they go. Um, I have several heroes. You know, my father, one, my mom, another, um, Valentino Rossi. I'm a Christian, so Jesus Christ. Also, heroes of mine going on, and I could name several more. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I think it's okay if you have a hero that just doesn't happen to be flesh and blood. Flesh and blood. Um, anyway, give me a comment below and let me know who your hero is or who your heroes are, or hey, who they were when you were coming up. I'd be curious to know who inspires you to be you now, or to aspire you to be somebody better, right? Is Bruce Lee one of them? He's also one of mine. Anyway, guys, thanks. Have a good one. Take care.